Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm Monty McKinnon, and today we're going to do a review on where we are on the guitar, and I'll bring you up to speed on that and tell you about the neck and the shellac and where we're going with that. Before we do any of that, what do you say we spin the intro and we'll come right back. Just to let you know, I have started the beginning of the neck for this. It's going to be obviously out here like so. This has to be cut off here. This has to have wings put on it. I made the last guitar we did, I made 2 fingerboards. This is the second fingerboard. I'm not sure I like it. I do have wood for this fingerboard, which is, again, the striped ebony, and I may end up using that. I think I like that better than I like this. But that's nice and light and good and hard. We'll see. Now, the shellac, we have let it filtered. I have filtered it now 4 times. I can see there's more stuff in here to be filtered out, and I have to get some activated charcoal in order to do that. I want to get that as pure as I possibly can so that it does a nice finish on the guitar. Now, speaking of finish, let's start here by having a look at the tape that I did. I put tape around here to pull the binding in, and then once I had the binding in place, the next thing I did was I used a whole bunch of clamps because I really like this tight, and as tight as I can get the tape with my hands and whatnot, it's still not as tight as I would like it. So I just use the clamps, as you can see here, in order to bring it all together. And that seems to work quite well. Now, the first thing you'll see is when I have the guitar in the bench and it is setting up like so, and I'm squaring off this corner with the scraper. And the scraper is a useful tool. I use it all the time on the guitar, both on the sides and the top and everywhere, and that's how you clean it up and get it down to thickness. So the scraper is really a very handy tool. Then here, what I do, because the bindings can be just slightly proud, even though I've clamped them in place, I use the scraper to bring them down level to make sure the sides and the binding are level and that it's all working together nice and neat. Is where I start actually carving the armrest up in here and down in here, and it's a real delicate job. You can't go at that fast. Your scraper, you want it to be nice and sharp, and I make sure that I do that. So I take my time and I flatten it down. It takes several hours actually to get it all in place. That's why I ended up, and I didn't tape everything, but 97 minutes of video that I've got crunched down now into under 10 minutes. So that worked out fairly well. The next video you'll see here is where I'm actually using the razor blade here, and the razor blade helps me get that absolutely smooth, because I want this smooth in here, but I want it so smooth that when I put the veneer on top of that, it's going to sit flat all the way up and down, so when I end up binding it, it's going to be fine. So that's what you'll see there. Now, speaking of the razor blade, I ended up putting tape over the top of this, as you'll see here, and I've got tape all around in here. I then take a pencil and I push the pencil against the edge because it's sharp on both sides, and that leaves me a pencil line. I then very carefully peel off the tape, set it on the bench, and then I cut it out until I get that nice crescent shape, which is in fact the armrest. I then place that on the veneer, as you'll see here, and then I take it over and I cut it on the bandsaw very gently, and then I take it to the sander. I sand the outside, and I use the spindle sander and I sand the inside of that. Once I've done that and it's all nice and neat, I then take it over here. I've put the bender away, but you've seen that sitting here in the previous videos. And then I bend the armrest to fit here so that hopefully it won't break. Well, as it turned out, this one did break, but I have fixed that, and I don't even know where the break is here. I think it was down in this end, or it could have been up here. Anyway, it's gone. So it's all fixed. And so when you get that bent nice and neat, it fits in there, and then I tape over the entire armrest. And as you will see, I then take surgical tubing and I wrap it all around to bring it in nice and tight so that there's no way that that veneer will ever come off the armrest, because that would be catastrophic. I sure don't want that. Neither would anybody playing this guitar want that to happen. So that's all done, and then I take the scraper again and I scrape this down on both the top and on the back until I get it exactly the way I want it. Now, once that is done and I've removed the tape and I've cleaned this all up, the next task is to start pulling out the Teflon, and I started up in this corner here, and you'll see a picture of this as I brought this together in here. And then I just bring it around here, cut a 45-degree angle here, run it around and put it all around there. So the shell is all done, and it's really great. So I'm happy with where we're at this point. The only thing that upset me, and still does upset me, is my shaking hands caused me to nick the top there. It's like 1/8 of an inch. I may be able to make that disappear. I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to sure try to do that. So that's it for me today. Thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate you being here. I'm going to have my English breakfast tea. By all means, please do subscribe if you haven't done so. And for those of you that have purchased my book, and there's a number of you, would you please be good enough to go on to Amazon and write a review on the book and what you think of it? And if you haven't got your copy yet, it's available on Amazon. It's available in Britain and Germany and Italy and the States and Canada. It's everywhere. So by all means, pick up a copy, and I hope you enjoy it. Let me know. I'd really appreciate that, because I am working on a second edition of this, so I need some feedback. All right, so that would be great. All right, that's it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. A life without English breakfast tea is honestly no life at all. And by the way, you know the video I did just previously about saying that this tea was the second most popular drink in the world, next to water, which is #1? Well, when you think about that, this is a mixed drink. So that would make tea the most popular mixed drink in all of the world. Smoke that one, coffee drinkers. See ya.